Hello, mic check. Hello, mic check. Hello, mic check.
continue with the quarterfinals action live from the AYSN Sports Center, the home of the Stallion Cup here in Domingo in San Juan. This is the 6th Stallion Cup Exped Charcoal Sox Conference. Our second quarterfinals pairing, we have Zhoosh going up against Boysen. This is Donas Reyes, our live play-by-play anchor only for the Stallion Cup, joined by the one and only Justin Almeida.
And Jonas, these two teams, number 3 versus number 6. Zhoosh getting that third spot with an 8-3 record, and Boysen 5-6 to get that number 6 spot.
This is a battle of the top 2 rebounding teams in our tournament. We have Boysen in green, Zhoosh.PH in red. Elbow jumper by Wellington Yap starts up the business in the ballgame.
Yeah, great shot coming from Wellington Yap just to get things going, that elbow jumper.
Meanwhile, Isko, see, that familiar long 3-pointer, he will miss. Rebound picked up here by Tim Koo. A tall point guard at it. Zhoosh.PH finds Gian Fernando to Caleb Dehenko. Guarded by Sun. Post pass to Tim Koo against De La Paz. Fernando getting a screen from Yap through traffic. Scope layup won't work. Rebound picked up here by Frank Parulan. Hands it over to Jadrian Tan, leading the charge. Tan will score!
Jadrian Tan was one of the main scorers in their previous meetup. They actually played each other in the last game of the elimination round.
Meanwhile, here comes Hans Yu Chua with the leather. Caleb Dehenko for 3. That is wide left. Rebound picked up here by Ian De La Paz to Johannes Sen. Pull up jumper erased there by Gian Fernando, but Ian De La Paz is there for the cleanup job.
Ian De La Paz, he averages 15.7 points, 15.8 rebounds, a former Benil Blazer and one of the main men for Boysen.
The number 2 leading rebounder in the tournament. That offensive board leads to a basket. Meanwhile, Tim Koo will miss. Rebound, tracked down there by Frank Parulan. The ball will go the way of Boysen. Starting unit for both squads. For Zhoosh.PH, they have Tim Koo, Caleb Dehenko, Wellington Yap, Gian Fernando, and Hans Yu Chua. Meanwhile, for Boysen, they have Jadrian Tan, Johannes Sun, Isko C, Ian De La Paz, and Frank Parulan. Fernando, the sidestep against Isko C. That one bounces in.
Yeah, so bonus points here coming from Zhoosh. First basket by Yap, and now it's Gian Fernando.
Hinigop ng ring. Meanwhile, Johannes Sun with a kick out pass. Isko C against Dehenko. Jadrian Tan against Fernando with a shove. De La Paz mid-range J. That is short. Rebound for Tim Koo. Caleb Dehenko. They don't have the numbers. 3 green shirts in front of him. Dehenko. Hands you Chua for 3. No good. Rebound by Jadrian Tan. Hands it over to Johannes Sun. Isko C for 3. Jackpot! First 3-pointer of the ball game for Isko C, brought to you by Boysen, the number 1 paint.
He was the best player of the game when they met each other in the elimination round. You know what you're gonna get from him. So you're gonna have to go out and make sure he doesn't get hot from the outside.
Well, si Coach Isko C firing those logo threes all tournament long. Hindi lang ngayong game yan. Well, Isko C's first 3-pointer of the ball game, giving Boysen a 3-point advantage. Sideline inbound here for the red shirts. Here comes HYC. Getting the offensive foul is Isko C. Working on both ends of the floor there, Justin.
Showing us that he is the 3-and-D type of player.
Ball going back here to the boys in green. When they met last November 15, actually it was a 4-point victory for Boysen. 81-77. Boysen looking to double up here against Zhoosh in our Season 6 of the Stallion Cup. Meanwhile, De La Paz, the ball is stripped. And Tim Koo couldn't save the leather. The ball will stay with Boysen. That is a matchup I was waiting to watch. Ian De La Paz versus Tim Koo.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier Ian De La Paz with 15.8 rebounds as his average. The number 2 leading rebounder. Look no further, number one. Nandyan lang. Yeah. Tim Koo averaging 22.6 rebounds.
And another tidbit, these are 2 former Stallion Cup MVPs. Reigning MVP is Ian De La Paz, and looking to push his team further in this tournament. Actually, this is a knockout ball game. between the number 3 Zhoosh.PH against number 6 Boysen. The winner of this ball game will face the survivor of our final quarterfinals pairing, Studio 300, going up against Traverse Asia Builders a little later on. It still will be me and Justin in that ball game. Meanwhile, Fernando finds Wellington Yap. Back to Fernando with a post pass against you. Cutting is Fernando, but Jadrian Tan disconnects Tim Koo from Gian Fernando. Well, specialty of the house yun, for Tim Koo, yung mga bucket pass to for teammates that are cutting to the basket.
Yeah, that's actually what I like about Tim Koo's game, no? He can pound it inside, pero he also has that vision to find the open cutters for Zhoosh.
Another way, point center.
Jokic ba?
Point center. Well, basketball is developing. As meanwhile, the jumper. Meanwhile, Isko C flings a 3. The shot is no good. Rebound by Jadrian Tan. Finds Johannes Sun. Isko C with a pump fake. Draws closer. Swings a pass. Jadrian Tan for 3. No good. Rebound by Frank Parulan. Oh, the kick out pass. Stolen away there by Hans Yu Chua. Zhoosh.PH down by just 2. To Fernando. To the corner. 3-pointer by the Henko. That is too strong. Rebound picked up here by Ian De La Paz. To Jadrian Tan with a save. De La Paz at the elbow. Spinning. De La Paz off the glass. The shot won't work. Rebound by Gian Fernando. Finds Caleb De Henko with Parulan in front of him. Got the basket plus the foul for Caleb De Henko.
That's what I want to see from Caleb De Henko. Sometimes you can sense that he gets a little passive, he doubts himself, but when he makes up his mind, he goes straight to the hole. Plays like that happen, and he ends up with an end one basket.
3-point by opportunity is brought to you by Boysen, the number 1 paint, Caleb De Henko at the stripe here, shooting the bonus. That free throw is good, giving Zhoosh.PH a 1-point lead. Here comes Johannes Sun, crossing the midcourt line. Finds Jadrian Tan, now to Sun, screen by De La Paz. Sun, stopping on a dime. De La Paz, drop pass, deflected there. Gian Fernando completes the steal. Here comes Zhoosh.PH on the attack. Oh, what a pass! What a find! Tim Koo looking for that second serving. Struggles with the leather. Ball nearly stolen. Wellington Yap taps the ball out of bounds. It will go the way of Boysen. 4:51 remaining in the first. Mandatory substitution is in play. 10 new players on the floor. At this juncture, we would like to thank our league sponsors, Expert Charcoal Socks, Experience Quality, Boysen, the number 1 paint, Kauri Tap Room, serving international favorites with Filipino twists, Nike Park Access, Expert Celsius Energy Drink, Live Fit, and Kaukai Thai Chicken House. Good food, good friend. Second unit out for both squads. 1-point lead for Zhoosh.PH. Rich Tong for 3. That one is no good. Loose ball is picked up here by Lance Alandi D. Elbow J. That won't work. Rebound by Coach Andro Torres. 4:30 remaining here in the first. Torres guarded by Gerald C. Screen by Christian Lee. Torres on an island against France D. Pump fake by Torres. Fade away. J off the glass. Put that one on IG, Coach Andro.
I've seen that jumper years back. Andrew is actually my village mate, and we were backcourt buddies ever since we were around maybe 12, 13 years old.
Familiar, playmate, may teammate pala dito si Coach Andro. Meanwhile, answering back with a jumper is Jaime Sia, cutting down. Zhoosh.PH lead to 1. Here comes Carl Lim rather, with the leather, and a pushing foul will be called against Rich Tong. Talk to us about that familiar move of Andro Torres, Justin.
Alam mo, ever since we were kids, parang yung laro ni Andro, veterano na talaga eh. He may not be the fastest, pero one of the smartest players on the floor. I believe he's the best decision maker for Zhoosh.
Pinapatanda mo si Coach Andro. Meanwhile, 3-point by opportunity here for JB Aliling. Brought to you by Boysen, the number 1 pay 3-point advantage for Zhoosh.PH.
Baka makakuha ako ng message mamaya na pare naman.
Well, this second unit of Zhoosh.PH will give them a 3-point lead. As Lance Alandi D post pass to Gerald C, nearly losing the leather. Jaime Sia creating space. Sidestep gobbled up by the defense of Jericho Ilagan. The shot block is brought to you by Kauri Tap Room. Rich Tong saving the possession for the green shirts. Here comes Jaime Sia. Bounce pass. France D to Zay. Sia for 3. That is an air ball. Ball possession going the way of Boysen. Zhoosh.PH, their defense is holding off Boysen in their attack.
Yeah, you can see that they gave an outside shot to Jaime Sia. It's more effective inside, but yung tight defense forcing them to shoot shots that aren't really in their comfort zone.
Here comes Andro Torres picking up the leather. Hands it off to JB Aliling. Driving baseline, bounce pass. Ilagan, Lee, elbow jumper, no good. And a loose ball foul will be called here against number 11, JB Aliling. Ball possession. Going back here to Boysen.
Yeah, great box out coming from Lance Alanditi. He was boxing out JB Aliling and he was forced to kind of pull the chair on him and yun nga, natawagan ng defensive foul.
Gerald says short stab won't work. Rebound by Christian Lee. Hands it over to their point guard, Andro Torres. Zhoosh.PH up by 3. Aliling. Entry pass to Ilagan. Telegraph there by Jaime Sia. Boysen on the run. Sia stops on a dime. One-hander. That is no good. Aliling with the tap to Andro Torres. Turn to attack here for the red shirts. Torres. Pump fake. Torres will miss. Loose ball. Picked up here by Andro Torres. Guarded by Tong. Torres will miss. Ilagan saves the possession through traffic. No good. Save here by Lim. 4 seconds on the Zhoosh shot clock. Lee for 3. That is no good. Rebound by Jaime Sia to Gerald Se with Torres in front of him. Se will spin. Pinball on that play. Loose ball picked up here by Lim. Pull up jumper. That is an air ball. Ball possession going back to Boysen.
Yeah, maybe a rushed shot there coming from Lim. Not the best shot available, but maybe just trying to settle their nerves. Let's see what adjustments they make.
Here comes Alandi D with the ball. Pulls up for a 3. No good. Rebound. Blocked up here by Andro Torres. Getting a foul from our reigning finals MVP, Gerald Se. And with Boysen in the penalty, Andro Torres heads to the free throw line. His team is ahead by 3. So far, good at the quarterback role here is Andro Torres, Justin.
Yeah, I like the aggressiveness to start this first quarter for Andro. When he's in shape, he can really light it up. He used to be an automatic 40-point output by Andro back in the day.
First free throw is good for Coach Andro Torres. Extends Zhoosh.PH lead to 4. The second free throw for Torres likewise is good. 5-point advantage for Zhoosh.PH, who will join Shunem McDavid in the winner's role here in our quarterfinals Saturday. Earlier on, Shunem McDavid extending their tournament lives once again, 75-73 over the top-seeded Lincoln Co. CSI. Kyle Slau, 20 points, and that game winner with 1.8 seconds in that ball game, Justin.
Yeah, just like we said earlier, Kyle Slau, just big players making big-time plays, just enough space to get a jumper and go-ahead basket to put them up by 2.
Well, Kyle Slau giving us work on Tuesday night. A knockout ball game between Shunem McDavid and Link & Co. CSI, who will advance to the semi-finals as a ball stopped out of bounds. Ball still in favor of Zhoosh.PH. They are ahead by 5. Lim to Torres, guarded by Ze, with a bounce pass to Lee, to a cutting Lim. The short stab is good!
That's a better shot coming from Lim. Earlier, he rushed into a fast break three-pointer, but this time off that pin-down screen, got it from the elbow and made it.
That assist from Christian Lee is brought to you by Nike Park Access. The jumper is offline. Rich Tong, short stab, won't go in. Rebound by Andro Torres. 30 seconds remaining here in the first. Torres, guarded by Sia. Screen offered by Ilagan. At the corner is Lim for 3. That is too strong. Rebound picked up here by France D. The shot clock is off. Boysen can go for the last shot of our opening period. Here comes Lance Alandi D. Aliling in front of him. D will attack. Screen by D. Corner. Tong. 3-pointer. Jackpot! Sending us to the first quarter break. is Rich Tong nailing the three-pointer. At our score at the end of the first, 17-13 in favor of Zhoosh.PH over Boysen. This quarter break is brought to you by Kao Kai Thai Chicken House. Good food, good friend. The second period when we come back. The second quarter of action here in the second quarterfinals pairing, a 4-point advantage for Zhoosh.PH over Boysen. Pocket pass here to Tim Koo. Wellington Yap, the jumper can't fall in. Ooh! Careless with the leather there was Boysen. Errant pass by Bernard Yu. Sends the ball out. Ball possession going back to Zhoosh. Caleb Dehenko with a post pass to Tim Koo. On the automatic. Red shirts on the cut. Dehenko for three. That is short. Tim Koo offensive board. He will miss. Rebound by Wellington Yap. Another possession here for the red shirts. Hansu Chua to Fernando. Dehenko will be called for a traveling violation.
Seems to be something bothering the hands of Tim Koo. You could see him holding on to his wrists. I'm not sure if that's why it's affecting his inside shooting, but so far he's been doing a great job on the glass.
Here comes Johannes Sun against Dehenko. Sun, runner, that won't fall in. Rebound by Lim to Jadrian Tan. Pump fake, jumper, bottom.
Simple move by Jadrian Tan. Saw the defender closing out, one dribble pull up and making that jumper.
Boysen down by just two. Here comes HYC, guarded by Sun. Solid screen by Tim Koo. Floater by HYC. It's GOOD.
That's what he does best, driving inside and with those floating shots. But he's missing his backcourt buddy as well. No, Josh Lim not in the ball game here today, the leading scorer for Zhoosh.
Forgot to mark that one.
Yeah.
Lim, Josh Lim getting a DNP in this ball game. As meanwhile, stolen away by Hansu Chua. Tan in front of him. Layup is no good. Ball is tapped out of bounds by Johannesson. Ball possession going the way, staying with Zhoosh.PH. Well, very obvious with Josh Lim out of this ball game. Well, they're missing 23.6 points per ball game. And accuracy from the free throw line, 89.9% from the stripe. Well, Zhoosh will try to survive this ball game without their main man, Justin.
Yeah, but someone stepping up for them, Gian Fernando. I believe that's already 5 points in total for this ball game, and he's hitting from the outside.
Well, answering the call was Gian Fernando with a three-pointer brought to you by Boysen, the number one paint, as Johannesson attacks baseline, bounce pass to Tan, now to Lim, fires a three, no good, rebound, as Tim Koo will be fouled by Bernard Yu. Ball possession going the way of Zhoosh.PH. Like in our first ball game, no, Shuna McDavid, everyone was just chipping in. Yeah. Maybe this will work for Zhoosh.PH with their main man Josh Lim, and not in this ball game.
So far, the aggressiveness of Caleb Dehenko has been on point. Only 2 points, but he's giving them multiple looks as well as Wellington Yap.
Dehenko fires a three, back rims that one. Rebound by Ian De La Paz. Boysen down by 7. Jadrian Tan with the ball. Finds Johannesson to Tan. Lim. Bounce pass. De La Paz carving space. Gian Fernando trying to pull the chair there. Instead, he will be called for a foul.
Yeah, well, Ian De La Paz spun into him. He believes that there was no contact, but the referee saw enough just for them to blow the whistle.
Napakapit sa shirt. Baseline inbound here for the green shirts. Lim finding Tan, guarded by Dehenko. Now to De La Paz against Wellington Yap. Jadrian Tan spots up for a three. Too strong. Rebound by Gian Fernando. As we approach the 7-minute mark of the second, Zhoosh.PH ahead by 7. HYC guarded by Sun, calling out the play. Shot clock down to 10. Hansyu Chua against Fernando. Crossover dribble. Spinning. HYC with a bounce pass. Wellington Yap. Yu Chua for 3. That is no good. Rebound by Johannesson. Finds Jadrian Tan. 3-on-4 attack. Tan stretching. Laying it in. Getting the foul. 3-point play opportunity brought to you by Boysen, the number 1 paint.
Yeah, a great drive coming from Jadrian Tan. He took a three-pointer earlier, missed, and decided to take it inside, and it's working well for him.
Kala mo babagalan eh. Saw the gap. Found the gap actually. Nailing that lane. Getting the foul and completing the 3-point play. Boysen down by just 4. 6-27 remaining here in the second. Here comes Hansyu Chua with the ball. Guarded by De La Paz, and the taller defender will be called for a foul. Sideline inbound play here for the red shirts. So we have Guts De La Paz here near our table as Tim Koo tasked with an inbound. Wellington Yap. Hansyu Chua through traffic. What will he do? Bounce pass. Fernando for 3. No good. Loose ball. Oh, plucked out there by Ian De La Paz. Here comes the green shirt. Pass is too strong for Jadrian Tan. Ball possession going back rather to Zhoosh.PH.
Yeah, lucky break for Zhoosh there, but their offense in the past 2-3 possessions have been a bit stagnant. Most of the time, the ball has been in the hands of Hansyu Chua and not really going anywhere.
Hansyu Chua now with the ball. To Wellington Yap, back to you Chua. DHO to Fernando. To Yap against De La Paz. Post pass, Tim Koo getting a foul. From Bernard Yu, a deep field there by Tim Koo.
Yeah, there you go. That's much better offense from the side of Zhoosh. Ball moving around and Tim Koo with a deep seal where he's most effective. And no choice but for the Boysen defenders but to foul him.
Tim Koo at the stripe. Stallion Cup veteran nailing the first free throw, extending Zhoosh.PH lead to 5 with 5:38 remaining here in the second. The second free throw for Tim is too strong, and the lane violation will be called against a Boysen defender. Substitute free throw will be awarded here to Tim Koo.
Parang nabigyan ng early present no? Substitute free throw.
The second one finally falls in for Tim Koo. 2 points in the ball game so far for Tim, together with 5 rebounds. Here comes Johannesson with the leather. To Lim, back to Sun. To Jadrian Tan. To De La Paz against Lihenko. De La Paz. Lim, the jumper, no good. Rebound by Bernard Yu against Tim Koo. Yu. Short stab won't work. De La Paz. Pump fake, he will score. Just the foul.
Yeah, Tim Koo jumping there. The veteran smarts of De La Paz saw it and he drew the contact and got the end one.
Ian De La Paz scoring amongst the threes there. Well, getting that foul off and a 3-point play opportunity for our tournament's second leading rebounder. Cutting down Zhoosh.PH lead to 4 as a mandatory substitution is in play. At this juncture, we would like to thank our league sponsors, Expert Charcoal Socks, Experience Quality, Boysen, the number 1 paint, Kauhi Tap Room serving international favorites with Filipino twist, Nike Park Access, Celsius Energy Drink, Live Fit, and Kaukai Thai Chicken House. Good food, good friend. Missing on the bonus is Ian De La Paz. Rebound tracked down here by Lee. Hands it over to Coach Andro Torres, guarded by Gerald Ze. Bounce pass to Lee. Looking for a handoff. Lee, jumper. That one bounces out. Rebound by Ian De La Paz. Getting extra time here in this period. De La Paz clearing space. Getting the foul in the process. Another triple play opportunity for our reigning MVP.
And this is a big adjustment from Boysen. They get to leave Ian De La Paz in the second 5 here in the second quarter. And that might be a huge factor ending this first half.
So actually, that's bonus point for Boysen because mandatory substitution, a dead ball would have removed Coach Ian from the floor.
Okay.
Kasi yan, waiting in the wings. I mean, Tismo. O yan, extra possession na naman.
Baka makakuha pa ng block.
Strategy pala no? Ito, just a 2-point lead for Zhoosh.PH. Andro Torres swings a pass to Lee. Facing France D. Torres trying to go middle. Extricating himself. Andro Torres veteran moves once again by the close friend of Justin Almeida.
Sabi ko sa'yo 12, 13 years old, parang may veteran moves na talaga to eh.
Nakakita ng angle. As a Jaime Sia back in the ball game, finally replacing Ian De La Paz, Andro Torres heads to the free throw line for a pair. Missing on the first. 4.6 rebounds so far in the ball game for Coach Andro Torres. One of the coaches in our kids division. The second one also bounces out. Empty trip there for Torres. Ball going back to Boysen. Lance Alandi D with the ball. To France D. Guarded by Tan. Oh, turnover against the green shirts. Here comes Andro Torres looking ahead. Torres, stutter step, pull-up jumper, bottom.
A great makeup play, missing those 2 free throws but hitting the elbow jumper.
4 and 10 remaining here in the second as Andro Torres extends Zhoosh's lead to 4. Here comes Lance Alandi D, guarded by Lim. To Jaime Sia, free throw line. Shot clock down to 10. Sia will lose possession of the leather. Lim completes the steal. To Tan, back to Lim, thinking 3. Decides to go closer. The floater is good.
Yeah, great move coming from Lim. I saw the defender coming out. Took it inside and hit the floater.
As France D with a bounce pass to Gerald Se. Down the post, he will be hacked. The foul will be called against Jacinto. That will send former finals MVP Gerald Se to the stripe for a pair of free throws. Jordan Jacinto Jericho Ilagan rather couldn't believe that call as Gerald Se heads to the stripe for a pair of free throws. Well, Boysen has to be mindful of the score here. They don't want Zhoosh.PH to build a lead. Well, this is just a knockout ball game, Justin.
And of course, Gerald Ze, medyo malas pa today. That was his first point of the ball game. But sometimes, when you see the ball go in the hole, and you get 1 free throw to go down, that could spark your offensive game, especially for the reigning finals MVP.
Well, this is a matchup between the number 3 Zhoosh squad against the number 6 Boysen. But those rankings don't matter in this knockout ball. May sana kung may advantage doon si number 3. But there is no tomorrow for the losing team in this ball game. It's down on the floor is Andro Torres holding on to his abdominal area being attended to by our medic and our officials here. Hope is okay. Slowly standing up is Andro Torres. I think he collided with Gerald Se on that play. 3 and 11 remaining here in the second. 5-point advantage. 5 points separating these two squads with both teams now in the penalty. As Ze back on the free throw line. Too strong on the first. 1 point so far for Gerald Se. He's trying to rev up his engine here in the second, Justin.
Yeah, you can see that he's attacking in transition. He was able to draw the foul, and let's see. Maybe that's enough to get him going here at the end of the first half.
Here comes Torres, guarded by Lance Alandi D. To Lee, near the elbow. 1-on-1 against France D. Hands it over to Torres. Thinking 3. Torres backing down his defender. Torres, one spin, another spin. Fade away. Jay getting a foul. Bel Air smarts there for Andro Torres, Justin.
You could see multiple pivot moves by Andro Torres, and at the last second was able to draw contact and 2 free throws.
Wakdayo nga ng Bel Air. I'll check kung ganun talaga. That's Andro Torres. Again, quality minutes for your buddy. Here, same in the first period, Justin.
Kaka 1-on-1 ata namin yan nung bata kami.
How many spins had he had to do? And the pump fake, and that fade, getting a foul from Lance Alandi D. Hindi na pumasa no?
I think that was about 3 half spins.
Tatlong half? Well, good on the pivot there was Andro Torres. 2 and 46 remaining in the second. Oh, technical foul will be called against Boysen as Lee makes them pay. He nails the free throw. As Andro Torres will be shooting the 2 free throws off that foul. Well, for a ball game like this, Justin, just to pick your brain once again, how big are free throws?
Well, especially in a close game like the first game we had, when you look at the box score, you look at your free throw shooting. If you lose by 2-3 points, you're gonna look back on those open free throws that that could have changed the ball game, and they're open shots. You have to make them.
Here comes Lance Alandi D. Finds France D. At the corner. Bounce pass. Ze, one-hander. That is short. Rebound secured by Jericho Ilagan. Hands it over to Christian Lee. Guarded by D. Now to Carl Lim. Ball nearly stolen. To Lee. To Torres. Guarded by Lance Alandi D. Torres down the shaded lane. Sidestep. The shot is partially deflected. The ball will stay with Zhoosh.PH with 8 on the shot clock.
This time, didn't get the call from the referees, but nice step-through move. Got blocked, though.
Baseline inbound here for the red shirts. Lim looking for a friend. Errant pass. Taken there by Lance Alandi D. All alone. Lays it in. Bye-bye.
Lance Alandi D, another teammate of mine actually in an ongoing league now. And, he can give you points, get steals, and run the break.
Points of turnover there for Boysen. Nearly forcing another one. Just a 5-point lead for Zhoosh.PH. Sideline inbound. Ilagan looking for a target. Finds Lee open. The jumper. Money on that one.
That was his third attempt from the perimeter. That is his specialty. And it's nice to see it go down here with 1 minute and 45 left.
Oh, as Gerald said, battling to the rim, caught with an offensive foul. That is his third of the ball game. How big is that call, Justin?
You're losing, if you get him in foul trouble, you're losing the third top scorer for Boysen.
Well, he has to be watchful now. He has 3 fouls so far in the ball game. Here comes Andro Torres. Zhoosh.PH ahead by 7 to Lee. Guarded by France D. Handoff to Torres. Guarded by Lance Alandi D. Torres looking at the clock. Torres backing down. Jumper bottom!
And just needed, just an inch of space just to get that shot off and making it.
Meanwhile, Gerald say the engine is humming. Answering back with the leaner.
Just like a diesel engine, no? It needs a little bit of time to get going.
A rush shot there though by Andro Torres. Ball possession going back here to Boysen. Here comes France D. Shovel pass. Gerald say back-to-back baskets. Cutting down Zhoosh's lead to 5.
There you go, a 4-0 run coming from Gerald Zeh, just enough to get going at the end of the first half.
Oh, he'll get going. He'll get going. The one thing's for sure. Gerald Zeh with another basket as Lim from the corner. The three-pointer is too strong for JP Tan. Rebound gathered here by the green shirts. Here comes Lance Alandi D. What a find! What a finish by Jaime Sia.
A great transition break there from Lance Alandi D finding Jaime Sia in that dunker spot.
That assist play is brought to you by Nike Park Access. 3 points separating these two squads. Differential of 2 seconds. Shot clock to game clock. Torres with the ball. Guarded by Lance Alandi D. Christian Lee with the screen. Torres. Lee. Jumper. Offline. Rebound picked up here by France D. Oh! Jumper won't work for Lim, and at the half, it's a 35-32 lead for Zhoosh.PH over Boysen. This halftime break is brought to you by Kaukai Thai Chicken House. Good food, good friend. The third period when we come back. second half of action between Zhoosh.PH and Boysen. You're still watching quarterfinals action here, the 6th Stallion Cup, presented by Expert Charcoal Socks, live from the AYSN Sports Center here in N. Domingo in San Juan. This is Jonas Reyes, your live play-by-play anchor only for the Stallion Cup. Joined here at the panel by Justin Almeida. First half story. What happened in the first 20 minutes of action, Justin?
First of all, look at the quality here in the Stallion Cup. Tingnan mo naman, first half and we're still all tied up at 35, just like our first game, no? But quite an advantage here for Zhoosh, getting to the free throw line more often in that first half. 8 out of 11 compared to 4 out of 11 from Boysen. Pero the main advantage was capitalizing on turnovers. 6 turnovers for Zhoosh, 9 for Boysen. But they scored 9 out of those 9 turnovers and only 5 para sa Boysen. Pero Boysen capitalizing on the fast break attack, 11 to 5.
Well, based on your list, Zhoosh nailing more free throws, but Boysen getting a +6 on fast break points. Well, this game is tight from the get-go. We are tied at 35. Quite a low-scoring ball game for both squads. Safe to say, defense has been working for both squads.
Yeah, but the thing is, for Boysen, we saw Gerald say he got going in the last 3 minutes, ending up with 6 points at the end of the half. The third leading scorer for the green shirts.
Well, he found his groove late in the second, while trying to counter the exploits of Coach Andro Torres. I mean, Zhoosh.PH, their players trying to pick up the slack, missing the services of Josh Lim in this ball game.
We saw Andro Torres, the highest scorer now for Zhoosh with 10 points in the first half. He has picked up the slack for them. But someone who hasn't gotten much involved inside is Tim Koo. Hasn't scored in that painted area. And Christian Lee as well. His specialty is the perimeter jump shot, and it was pretty quiet in that first half.
Well, so far, an exciting but tight ball game as Caleb DeHenko nails a three-pointer, brought to you by Boysen, the number 1 team.
Yeah, tough shot with a hand in his face, but making a big shot to give them a 3-point lead.
As Jaime Sia is in traffic, kick out pass, Jadrian Tan finds Isko C, back to Tan, mid-range J, no good. Ball is tipped, picked up here by Tim Koo, leading the charge. Koo, shovel pass, Fernando, for 3, jackpot! Back-to-back 3-pointers for Zhoosh.PH, brought to you by Boysen, the number 1 team.
Yeah, big back-to-back threes coming from Zhoosh.PH. Bonus points as we enter this timeout.
This timeout is brought to you by Expert Charcoal Socks. Experience quality. We will be back. Eight and 26 remaining in the third. Well, we were tied at 35. All of a sudden, 6-point lead for Zhoosh.PH. They have a mini run with those 2 3-pointers, Justin.
Yeah, that's actually a stat that we can look out for. In the first half, Zhoosh only had 1 3-pointer. Boysen only had 2. And right away, to start the first 2 minutes of this game, back-to-back threes coming from Zhoosh.
A missed opportunity there for Boysen as Caleb DeHenko leading the charge. Elbow jumper, hits air, ball possession, going back to Boysen. Exactly 8 minutes remaining here in the third. Here comes Johannesson. Stutter step. Isco C, for 3, in and out, rebound by Tim Koo. Forward pitch, Hans Yu Chua, all alone. The layup try won't work. Rebound by De La Paz. Boysen, they have the numbers. Jadrian Tan against Fernando, who will be called for a foul.
Just a great playoff foul coming from Gian Fernando. No dirty intentions there as he helps Jadrian Tan up.
Well, he won't allow Jadrian Tan to waltz in the lane and get that easy layup. He has to earn those points from the free throw line. And again, free throw story, 8 of 11 at the first half and 4 of 11 for Boysen. Well, these free throws here in the second half will be gold, Justin.
And Jadrian Tan, at least he makes 1 out of 2.
7 and 35 remaining here in the third. Zhoosh.PH with the possession. Here comes Hans Yu Chua, guarded by Sun. to the corner. Dihenko for 3. Jackpot! Third 3-pointer of the period for Zhoosh.PH. Brought to you by Boysen, the number 1 pain.
6 points now for Caleb Dihenko. That's 2 3-pointers from each wing.
Meanwhile, Jaime Sia will miss, but Ian De La Paz is there for the putback.
Easiest basket of Ian De La Paz this ball game.
Unmarked there is Ian De La Paz scoring on an easy putback. Zhoosh.PH up by 6. HYC stepping back. Fishing expedition getting a foul of Johannesson.
You know, wherever Ian De La Paz is, Tim Koo has to be there to avoid those easy baskets. Kailangan asawahin niya talaga eh.
Well, we were waiting for someone to heat up. Here comes a France D also. Still looking for his first buckets of the ball game. As HYC at the stripe, nailing the first. It's a 7-point advantage for Zhoosh. 20.7 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 3.6 assists in the tournament for Hans Yuchua. They are ahead by 8, Justin.
And you were mentioning France D earlier. He also has been quiet so far. They need to get him involved. They're already trailing by 8 points here.
France D scoreless so far in the ball game. Meanwhile, Jadrian Tan with a mid-range J.
Yeah, that was a difficult jumper. Heavily contested, but finding a way to make it.
Well, level of difficulty at a 10 there for Jadrian Tan. Still nailing the jumper. HYC lays it in low. Mishandles the leather, but Tim Koo is there for the save. Fernando for 3. That is short. Rebound by Jaime Sia. Boysen on the run. The pitch is too strong for France D, running out of floor space. Ball possession going back to Zhoosh.
Would have been the 4th 3-pointer this quarter for Zhoosh, no? If Gian Fernando made it.
6 and 12 remaining here in the third. Boysen with an early shuffle. Gerald Se back now on the floor. Here comes HYC. Guarded by LAD. Tim Koo providing a screen. Koo with a handoff. Yuchua with the ball against De La Paz. Kick out. Dihenko. Mid-range J. He will be fouled. And if that's against Gerald Se, that will be number 4. Yep. Our officials raising the 1 sign. That means Gerald Se will be called for foul number 4.
Yeah, that's a big development here because they're losing their third highest scorer in this game, and that's going to limit the options here for Boysen. The defense of Zhoosh is going to collapse on, just key in on some main guys. It's going to be an easier job for them.
Well, Zhoosh scrambled on that play, frustrating the defense of Boysen. Gerald Se catching Caleb Dihenko there on the forearm. 7-point advantage for Zhoosh.PH. Ze has no choice but step out of the ball game. Here comes Lance Alandi D. Guarded by Torres. Jaime Sia with the ball, with the pitch. Jadrian Tan, post pass. France D fades. He is fouled. The foul will be called against Gian Fernando. This is a place where France D might get his groove, Justin, from the free throw line.
Yeah, same as Gerald Zen that late first half. No, France D going to the free throw line, making the first, and let's see if he can start to get some rhythm here in the third.
Nailing the first free throw there was France D. 5 and 29 remaining in the third. Likewise on the second, 2 for 2 on the trip for France D. That will cut Zhoosh.PH lead to 5. Here comes Andro Torres with the ball, guarded by France D. Wellington Yap back on the floor. Torres cuts. Layup is too strong. Tim Koo trying to go for the rebound. Instead, it's slapped down by France D. Green shirts on the run. Dumps a pass. De La Paz. Layup is no good. France D offensive board through traffic. France D will miss. Rebound again by D. Third try for the green shirt stand. Jumper bottom.
Yeah, it was a 4-on-5 break there. Andrew Torres wasn't able to go down right away, and they capitalized on it. Talking about Boysen.
Zhoosh.PH lead down to 3. Here comes HYC. Screen by Yap. HYC still with the ball. Sees an opening. Diving to the floor. Shot is not good. Tim Koo will be fouled, as Jadrian Tan will be called for the personal foul. That will be his first. Two foul shots will be awarded here to Tim Koo. Well, Zhoosh.PH just looking to hang on here in the third, Justin.
Yeah, I want to see Tim Koo get more aggressive on the offensive end. He had multiple offensive rebounds where he wasn't even looking to score and looking to kick it out right away. Maybe try to change things up a bit and look for those putback shots after the offensive rebounds.
Well, everyone here for Zhoosh.PH looking to fill up the shoes left by Josh Lim. 23.6 points per ball game. Trying to fill up that one. Well, everyone trying to contribute to their cause in this knockout ball game as Tim Koo knocks down the second free throw. 2-possession lead for Zhoosh with 4:30 remaining here in the third. We still have two quarterfinals ball game right after this one. CW Home Depot up against Petro and Ken Flores a little later on in our main game at 8 p.m. Studio 300. Up against Traverse Asia Builders. Jaime Sia will miss on that drive. Rebound by Tim Koo. Andro Torres leading the attack. Passing on the last second. Hans Uchua. That will result to a turnover. Well, Andro could have gone for the basket on that possession, Justin.
Yeah, I think Hans wasn't ready for the pass. Akala niya tatitira na si Andro but you always have to be ready. That was a turnover for Zhoosh.
3:54 remaining here in the third. Here comes Jaime Sia now with the ball. Finds Lance Alandi D. Post pass. France D. The hook shot won't work. Loose ball. Dian De La Paz, the second serving, will fall in.
You gotta put a body on him. If he gets too deep down low, it's gonna be an easy bucket.
Pinball action on that one. Ian De La Paz finding himself with the leather. Scoring on the basket. Zhoosh's lead down to 2. HYC behind the back dribble. Guarded by Lance Alandi D. Wellington Yap to the free throw line and pass straight at the Zhoosh.PH bench. Ball possession going back to Boysen.
Miscommunication between Yap and Fernando. So far, it's been quite a drought for Zhoosh. They've been scoreless for about 2 minutes.
2 points separating these two squads. Inbound. Lance Alandi D. Jaime Sia for 3. Jackpot! Another 3-pointer by Jaime Sia. Brought to you by Boysen, the number 1 brain.
What a big third quarter here for Boysen. They were down by 8 points now. Already up by 1.
10 points now in the ball game for Jaime Sia. Less than 3 minutes remaining in the third. Lee trying to answer back. 3-point try won't work. Rebound by Tim Koo. Andro Torres. Pump fake. Shot fake. Dumps a pass. Tim Koo. One-hander won't work. Rebound by Ian De La Paz. Here comes the green shirts and a duty foul given up there by Christian Lee. Stopping that fast break led by France Lee.
Yeah, just a good duty foul given by Christian Lee. However, he had a 3-pointer earlier. Still haven't gotten much productivity out of Christian.
Jaime Sia to Alandi D. Attacking the elbow. To Sia near the corner. Guarded by Torres. Sia drives middle. Creating space. Sia will miss. Rebound blocked out there by Ian De La Paz. He will be fouled by Tim Koo. Again, that was the battle I was waiting for right before the ball game. Ian De La Paz getting the best of Tim Koo, at least in that possession, Justin.
So far, Ian De La Paz has been more productive compared to Tim Koo. But they have been controlling the boards, but on the offensive end, Ian has been producing more so far.
First free throw trickles in for Ian De La Paz. Already in double figures, 11 points, 12 rebounds. Make that 12 for the evening for Coach Ian De La Paz. Boysen ahead by 3. Here comes Hans Uchua with the leather. Christian Lee providing a screen. HYC leading the attack. A tap there by Lance Alandi D. Ball possession stays with the red shirts. HYC against Sia. Torres for 3. No good. Loose ball. Lost there by De La Paz. HYC for 3. No good. Rebound by France D. Boysen, their turn to attack. D. Stutter step. One-hander off the glass. Finally falls in.
Boysen getting the stops and the offense just coming to them at the right time. It's a 5-point lead now.
1:40 remaining in the third. France D is fired up. Guarding Andro Torres. Lee providing a screen. Torres. Finding the smallest of openings. getting a foul and a trip to the free throw line once again, Justin.
Yeah, I think the referees called the foul on the floor. Oh, but it is a penalty situation, so yeah, 2 free throws for Andro.
Utak. Utak talaga, Coach Andro Torres. Ilan na si Coach Andro? 10 points, 8 points so far for Andro Torres. His team though is down by 5, missing on the first, 1 and 30 remaining here in the third.
So far, nothing out of the ordinary naman.
Second free throw for Andro Torres, splitting his trip to the free throw line. Boysen's lead down to 4. 90 seconds remaining here in the third frame. Here comes Isko C, guarded by Lim. C directing traffic. C still with the leather, dumps a pass to France D. Trapped at the corner to De La Paz, to a cutting Jaime Sia with a stretch. The shot is no good. Rebound taken here by Christian Lee. Launches a pass to Andro Torres. Zhoosh.PH down by 4. Torres, pull-up jumper, offline. Rebound by Ian De La Paz. Hands it over to Lance Alandi D. Boysen. Slowing things down here in the third. Alandi D, bothered by Dehenko. Sia, 3-pointer. That one won't fall in. De La Paz, hook shot won't work. The second serving also won't fall in. But France D is there, going for the putback. Pinball. Ball possession, pointing the way of Zhoosh.PH.
Great stop by Zhoosh, and it was Jericho Ilagan protecting that painted area. You know, multiple stops there as they get possession.
Lim, early 3. That won't fall in. Rebound by Jaime Sia. Where Zhoosh.PH going for the 2-for-1 there. Instead, ball is taken here by Boysen. Differential of 5 seconds. Shot clock to game clock. Alandi D against Dehenko. Rotation dribble. Bounce pass. Isko C. 8 seconds. C for 3. In and out. Sia, the putback. He will be fouled.
And the rebounding battle going in favor of Boysen. They've been finding those loose balls, getting multiple chances in one possession, and that's why they have taken this lead in the third.
Nearly a stop there for Zhoosh.PH, but Jaime Sia getting that rebound and that foul of Ilagan, but he misses on the first. 10 points, 3 rebounds so far for Sia. Missing also on the second. Whoa! A foul will be called against number 21, that is France D. Both teams now in the penalty. That means Jericho Ilagan will get 2 free throws. Well, this could be big ones as we are about to end the third period. Less than 4 seconds remaining on this one. Short on the first for Jericho Ilagan. He may be scoreless, Justin, but he has been manning that shaded lane like his life depended on it.
Yeah, just a great backup center, no? After Tim Koo.
Short on the free throw. Rebound by Sia. A second remaining as France D launches. Hits all board. And at the end of the third, a 53-49 advantage for Boysen against Zhoosh.PH. Can they hang on? This quarter break is brought to you by Kaukai Thai Chicken House. Good food, good friend. The fourth period when we come back. We enter the final period of our second quarter finals pairing. Boysen ahead 53-49 against Zhoosh. Well, Boysen winning the third period, Justin, 21-14.
Yeah, and in that third quarter, it was the offensive rebound that was key for Boysen. They had 17 offensive rebounds well, in total, and most of them coming from that third quarter.
The jumper nailed by Ian De La Paz extends their lead to 6. Hansi Chua will behind the back dribble. Kick out pass to Andro Torres to Tim Koo against De La Paz. Koo swings a pass to Christian Lee, guarded by Sia Lee. The jumper, that won't work. Rebound by Jadrian Tan. And what's important here for Boysen, they are building up this lead without Gerald Se on the floor. He has been foul plagued since the second quarter, Justin.
Yeah, so far the offense of Zhoosh has been quite stagnant after those 3-point barrages coming from Caleb Dihenko. They've gone a bit silent. Christian Lee hasn't been involved in the offense, and Hansi Chua as well. Since the ball is in his hands for majority of the time, the defense has keyed in on him, and the others have just been standing around.
Meanwhile, Johannesson knocking down his first point of the ball game. A 56-49 advantage for the green shirts. The second free throw is also good for Johannesson. 8-point lead for the boys in green. Torres now with the leather, guarded by Sun. Lee offering a pick. Torres fires a 3. That is no good. Rebound by Wellington Yap, fresh 14 for the red shirt. What a pass by Torres for Tim Koo. He will be fouled.
Yeah, great wait for just a different look on offense there. Andro Torres taking it inside, was able to attract a help defender and saw Tim Koo rolling to the basket.
Well, there has to be no let up here for Zhoosh.PH as Tim Koo heads to the free throw line. The first free throw for Tim, that is short. 3 points, 10 rebounds so far for the evening for Tim Koo.
Probably the only flaw in his game, free throw shooting so far. But he's had good percentages. He's 3 out of 4 before that trip, now 3 out of 6.
57-49 scoreline in favor of Boysen. Looking to make headway here in the fourth. Jadrian Tan to Johannesson. Back to Tan. Iskosi asking for the leather. Instead, they give it Johannesson. Pull up J. That is too strong. Ball tapped out of bounds. The ball will stay with Boysen. 8:45 remaining here in the fourth. Baseline inbound for the green shirts. Jadrian Tan to Iskosi. Guarded by Torres. C. Guarded by Hans. Yu Chua to Sun. Shot clock down to 6. De La Paz to C. Fires a 3. No good. And Wellington Yap lets the ball sail out. Ball possession going back to Zhoosh.PH.
I would say that was a lucky break for Zhoosh. It was an open look for Iskosi, and we've seen him hit that far. Lucky for them it didn't go down.
Here comes Andro Torres against Sun. Hands it over to HYC. Jumper. No good. Rebound by Tim Koo. Block from behind by Jadrian Tan. The shot block is brought to you by Kauri Tap Room. Where will the offense come from? From Zhoosh.PH, 8 and 10 remaining in the fourth. Here comes Torres, guarded by Sun. To Hans Yu Chua, looking for an opening. Finally, nailing a basket is Hans Yu Chua.
You were asking where the offense is going to come from. Hans Yu Chua, their second leading scorer, has to step up now as they find themselves trailing by 6.
Jadrian Tan, off a pass from Sun. Back to Johannesson. Post pass, De La Paz against Koo. Hook shot by De La Paz. That won't work. Rebound by Christian Lee. Looking down the floor. Lee to Torres. Guarded by Sun. Torres at the post. Torres backing down his defender. Torres will fade. Oh! Shot block. Ball is deflected. The foul will be called against Andro Torres. Unproductive trip there for Zhoosh down the floor, Justin.
Yeah, it looks like he wanted to give it to that painted area, but the defense read it. Boysen doing a good job tapping it out.
Carl Lim checking back into the ball game, giving Coach Andro Torres a breather. Boysen ahead by 6. They have the possession. Here comes Johannesson, guarded by Lim. Sun looking for the gap. Shot is no good. Rebound. Track down there by Tim Koo to Christian Lee. Outlet pass. Hans Yu Chua. Short jumper off the glass. Bounces in.
That was a tough shot. He had the angle to take it inside, but decided to step back. Good thing he made it. He made it and cut it down to 4.
Well, Jadrian Tan had his hands up, but HYC still making the jumper. Johannesson to Jadrian Tan for 3. That is short. And Jaime Sia couldn't save that one. A stop here by Zhoosh.PH. They are down by 4. As Caleb Dehenko is back on the floor. And Boysen reactivates. Gerald saves. Still 6 and 48 remaining in the fourth. Quite a gamble they're taking here, Justin.
Yeah, but it is the fourth quarter, and Zhoosh coming up with a 4-0 run. So you gotta play your cards right. Let's see if Gerald can make an impact here.
Lee to HYC, getting a screen from Wellington Yap. Take out pass, Dehenko for 3, no good. Tim Koo going for the offensive board, saving it. So Christian Lee, 8 seconds on the Zhoosh.PH shot clock. Dehenko to Hansyu Chua against Sun. HYC, floater, won't work. Tim Koo, what a putback! Count the basket, plus the foul!
That's what I was saying, Jonas. After the offensive rebound, you want to see Tim Koo go for the basket rather than kick it out, and it's working for them in that possession.
Cutting down. Or rather, 57 to 55 scoreline. Cutting down Boysen's lead to 2. Tim Koo taking sweet time. He's been winded. I mean, all those green shirts clinging on him in every possession. But the bonus free throw won't fall in for Tim. Still a 2-point lead for Boysen. Here comes France D. Stepping on the gas. To De La Paz, to Jadrian Tan. Post pass. Gerald say one-hander. That is short. Rebound by Christian Lee. Another stop by the red shirts. Here comes Tim Koo with the ball. Zhoosh.PH down by a basket. To the corner. HYC for 3. That is short. That would have been big. Johannesson leading the attack. De La Paz lays it in.
Yeah, and you can see Tim Koo is winded on the other end. Fatigue setting in. De La Paz took full advantage of that.
4-point advantage for Boysen. HYC, Lee, jumper, Bonnie on that one. Finally nailing the jumper.
He took the words out of my mouth. Finally for Christian Lee. Let's see if he can produce a little bit more in crunch time.
Well, Zhoosh.PH keeping it close with 5 and 15 remaining in the fourth. France D, post pass. Zed twisting in mid-air. The shot won't work. Rebound by the red shirts. Here comes Caleb Dehenko. Crossing the midcourt line. Ball is deflected by Se. They have to cross. Lee with the ball. Zhoosh controls the action. HYC with the ball. Guarded by France D. Looking at the shot clock. It says 5. HYC attacking the elbow. He will be fouled. I thought that offense was going nowhere, but HYC getting the foul against, who would that be?
I think on Ian De La Paz.
Ian De La Paz, inching closer at this part of the ball game. It's Zhoosh.PH still aggressive at this part of the ball game, Justin.
Yeah, and Ian De La Paz, I believe that's his 4th foul already.
Well, 2 players with 4 personal fouls here for Boysen. Well, the aforementioned Ian De La Paz and Gerald Se getting the foul number 4 in the third. So they have to be careful with 4 and 46 remaining here in the ball game. Just a 1-point lead. Another down-the-wire ball game, Mr. Almeida.
Yeah, 1 versus 8 earlier, a close ball game extending the series. Ito naman, 3 versus 6, same story.
Anong ranking? Diba? Knockout ball game. We are tied at 59. Ze at the elbow to a cutting Lance Alandi D. What a find! That assist play is brought to you by Nike Park Access.
What a great cut by Lance Alandi D. Now he saw Gerald Ze just looking and scanning the floor. His defender fell asleep and he made them pay.
Lead back at the hands here of Boysen, 4 and 32 remaining in the fourth. Timeout is brought to you by Expert Charcoal Socks. Experience quality. We will be back. 4:32 remaining in the fourth. Boysen in possession of the lead once again. Here comes Andro Torres. Screen by Yap. Torres in the handoff. Lee. Return pass to Torres. And that is a Zhoosh.PH turnover, Justin.
Yeah, just miscommunication there between Lee and Torres. Wasn't the best of entry pass to the post, and he lost it. You can't commit these errors. There's only 4 minutes left in the final period.
Boysen looking to regain control of this important part of the ballgame. They are up by 2. Down the post we go. Gerald say, lefty floater is good.
Gerald Zeh doesn't need much to get going. He was out for majority of the third quarter and the beginning of the fourth. But when he gets the go signal, he's gonna make you pay.
4-point advantage for Boysen. Another turnover force. Gerald say, open lane. The layup is good. Back-to-back hits by Gerald say. Suddenly, Boysen up by 6.
Coming in the 5-minute mark and now coming up with a 4-0 run, Gerald Zeh.
Tablayan kanina eh.
Oo.
Diba? They're now up by 6 as Andro Torres. Zhoosh.PH. Their backs against the wall. Torres. A screen by Lee. Torres with the bounce pass. Lee backing down France D. The jumper. He gets a foul from France D. 2 free throws will be awarded to Christian Lee.
Yeah, offense not really going anywhere, but Christian Lee making something out of nothing. Was able to draw some contact on the forearm for these 2 free throws.
3-12 remaining here in the fourth. Christian Lee at the stripe. The first one is short. 5 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists for the evening for Christian Lee. His squad though is down by 6. Reloading for the second. That one falls in as Gian Fernando returns to the floor for Zhoosh.PH, replacing Wellington Yap. Here comes Lance Alandi D, setting up the offense for the green shirts as we approach the final 3 minutes of this ball game. With a bounce pass to Jadrian Tan. Back to Lance Alandi D, looking for an opening. Wild on that one. Rebound secured by Tim Koo. Lee to Andro Torres, facing Jadrian Tan. Pull up 3. That is no good. Fight for the loose ball, picked up here by Ian De La Paz. Boysen stepping on the gas. Gerald say, clearing space. The shot won't work. Rebound by Torres. Hands it over to Christian Lee. Zhoosh.PH needs to speed things up. Lee for 3. Jackpot! Booming 3-pointer by Christian Lee, brought to you by Boysen, the #1 pain.
By the way, Christian Lee was playing, you wouldn't expect he would pull up for 3, but surprising the Boysen defense, and now it's just a single possession ball game.
We're used to Christian Lee going for mid-range jumper, but this time around, the 3-pointer will work for him. His team is down by just 2. Jadrian Tan attacks baseline. Jumper in and out. Rebound secured by Tim Koo. Hands it over to Gian Fernando. Last 2-minute call by Kuya Aljo Pire is brought to you by Exped Charcoal Socks Experience Quality. Torres. Handoff. HYC at the elbow. Jumper. No good. Rebound tracked down there by Lance Alandi D. Stop there by Boysen. Alandi D to Zeh. Sidestep. And a foul. Tama no? A foul downstairs will be called against Gian Fernando. Our official Ian Borbe pointing to the floor. That means no free throw will be awarded to Gerald Zeh. Foul number 4 against Gian Fernando. Naka-play sana. Gerald Zeh short on that jumper. Rebound. Tracked down here by Gian Fernando. Zhoosh.PH down by just a basket. Here comes Hans Yu Chua. Getting a screen from Lee. HYC back tap. Fernando for 3. No good. Rebound secured by Gerald Zeh to Jadrian Tan. Back to Zeh. Attacks. Hands in the air. Zeh powering his way to the basket. 4-point lead for Boysen.
Yeah, Tim Koo was signaling for his teammates to give up a foul as they had a foul to give. He seems really fatigued right now here in the half-court line, and that miscommunication might have been key here as Boysen goes up by 4.
1:04 remaining here in the fourth. Timeout. It's brought to you by Expert Charcoal Socks Experience Quality. We will be back. 64 seconds remaining here in the fourth. Zhoosh.PH, they have the possession. They need baskets at this part of the ball game. Justin, who will you give the ball to if you are Zhoosh?
So far, they've been trying to get an isolation play with Hans Chua, but Christian Lee has found some offense here. Maybe they can hit him in that perimeter.
Under a minute here in the final period. Andro Torres for three. That is short. Ball is picked up there by Lance Alandi D. A great stop there by Boysen. They're ahead by 4. Jadren Tan to Lance Alandi D. There's a clear out. 40 seconds remaining here. Pocket pass stolen away by Tim Go. HYC on the run. Lane, it is gone. 2-point ball game with 30.4 remaining in the fourth.
Yeah, that was an error pass coming from Lance Alandi D. He didn't find the roller and Hans Chua took full advantage of it.
A foul to give here for Zhoosh as Jadren Tan gets it back out to Lance Alandi D. 6 seconds. Shot clock to game clock. Jaime Sia. Bounce pass. De La Paz. Jumper. Bottom! Well, that is big! Ian De La Paz giving Boysen a 4-point lead.
Just a kick out pass to Ian De La Paz. He was open, a bit far from his range, but just like the first game, big players making big plays. Ian De La Paz with a perimeter J.
Another timeout requested there by Zhoosh.PH. They're down by 4. This timeout is brought to you by Expert Charcoal Socks. Experience quality. We will be back. .1 seconds remaining in the fourth. Ian De La Paz expanding this Boysen bleeding room to 4, Justin.
You know, you have to go back to that 2 possessions earlier. No, na Timko was asking for them to give up a foul because he couldn't. He was winded and couldn't go down on defense.
Here comes HYC with the ball. They need a basket here. Andro Torres for 3. Jackpot! Lead down to 1 for Boysen. Wow! Zhoosh.PH still alive. Timeout requested by Boysen with 4.1 remaining here in the fourth. This timeout is brought to you by Expert Charcoal Socks. Experience quality. We will be back. .1 seconds remaining here in the fourth. Andro Torres making things interesting there, nailing a big 3-pointer. But harping to what you said a while ago, the foul to give.
Yes.
That they weren't able to give in those 3 early possessions. Well, 3 team fouls here, but Zhoosh.PH needs to send a Boysen player to the free throw. And how big is this one, Justin?
Well, now this foul to give is going against them, but they can try to go for an early steal here. They're gonna have 2
Deny
chances.
muna, yan.
And maybe come up with a fast break layup to steal the game.
Here we go. Jadren Tan. Boysen needs a clean inbound. Zhoosh.PH. They need the ball. Jadren Tan to Lance Alandi D, and a foul given up there by Christian Lee. That is their last foul. Finally given here with 3.2 seconds remaining. The next foul will send a green shirt to the line. Jadren Tan. Task with the inbound yet again. Tan to Lance Alandi D, and the foul given up by Christian Lee.
Yeah, just about a total of 1.8 seconds coming off the game clock here. They're left with 2.3. I'm not sure if they're going to have a timeout left after these.
As Lance Alandi D at the stripe, he will be tested. Boysen is ahead by 1. The first free throw for Lance. First one is too strong. Door still open for Zhoosh. Lance Alandi D will be tested. Second free throw. He missed the first. The second one. Missing again. Timko. Long pitch. In the board. Almost but not quite. And escaping with a 1-point win is Boysen. 69-68 over Zhoosh.PH. They enter the semifinals. What a ball game, Justin.
Again, Jonas, it was in that third quarter that was the turning point. Zhoosh went up by as big as 8 points, but the offensive rebounding of Boysen came into play there, and they just found a way to steal the lead back. They went up by 4 and they never looked back since.
Another great quarterfinals pairing. We still have 2 more to go, and in behalf of our analyst, Justin Almeida, this has been Jonas Reyes, your live play-by-play anchor only for the Stallion Cup. The post-game interviews when we come back. We have here Boysen, the number 1 paint-based player of the ballgame. Ian De La Paz leading Boysen to this exciting 69-68 win over Zhoosh.PH. Double-double performance for Coach Ian, 18 points, 18 rebounds, an assist, and a block. Also named as a defensive player of the ballgame. Una muna, Coach, talk to us to the last play. We're not used to you nailing big jumpers, but that really expanded the breathing room for Boysen. A big basket at that.
Siyempre, thanks to my teammates, they gave me the confidence to take that shot. Ayun, thank God na na-shoot yung last shot ko.
Talk to us yung matchup nyo ni Timko. You're the number 2 best rebounder against the number 1 rebounder all game long. Talagang ganda ng bantayan nyo. Talk to us about that matchup.
Ayun, sobrang ganda ng matchup namin ni Tim. Siyempre, in-expect ko na nag-ready ako for this game. Then, thank you naman, thank God na yun. Sa akin, nag-favor yung sa huli, nanalo kami.
Will we see a number 6 team upsetting a number 3 team? You make your way to the semifinals. What can you expect from Coach Ian and the rest of Boysen? Semifinals, knockout ball game na yan.
Ayun, we just continue to play our game na yun. Our strength kasi is the transition, so we're gonna focus on that, then yung defense namin para we can run dun sa transition.
Finally, Coach, the game was streamed live over at the official YouTube page of the Stallion Cup. Anyone you want to greet or give a shout out to?
First of all, thank you God for this win and walang na-injured both teams. Tapos, shout out to my family and to Isa, Guts, kay Gal, tapos sa wife ko, happy birthday niya today. Tapos sa family ko din sa Taytay and Makati. Shout out.
Magandang birthday gift from Coach Ian. Again, our best player of the ball game, Ian De La Paz, leading Boysen to this quarterfinals victory over Zhoosh.PH. When we come back, quarterfinals action continues to heat on. We have CW Home Depot going up against Pet One. Ken Frosh, you're still watching the 6th Stallion Cup powered by Exped Charcoal Soft.